Okay, class, today we have a very interesting speaker here to talk to you all about her life experiences. Hello, class. I am Carbon, and I'm here to talk to you about my life story and my journey through something called the carbon cycle. See, I have been on planet Earth for as long as I can remember.
Forever?
Not forever, but since the formation of Earth as we know it. See, until human species came along and messed with the cycle, there was a fixed amount of carbon on Earth, and I was part of that. So the first thing that really happened to me that's of any significance was I became coal.
Wait, so coal is made of carbon?
Yes. So during the formation of Earth, rocks and asteroids were raining down from the sky, and I, along with many of my fellow carbon molecules, got trapped underneath some of these rocks. And as more rocks fell, and as sand and other sediments eroded and fell on top of us, we were compacted and squeezed tighter and tighter together until eventually we became coal. And this process took hundreds and hundreds of years.
How did you get out?
So, in the 1900s, I was discovered by some coal miners. And so I was taken up into a factory and I was burned for energy. From that burning, we ended up in the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. So the first interesting thing that happened to me was I was part of a process called photosynthesis.
What's photosynthesis?
And this is a process by which plants they need sunlight, they need water, and they need access to carbon dioxide. And they take those three elements, and from that they make sugars. They also make oxygen, but we'll get to that later. So I was part of a compound called carbon dioxide. So I was paired with other oxygen and other carbon molecules, and we were chemically bonded. And we entered a plant leaf.
What happened then?
And the strangest thing happened is that the carbon was actually separated from the oxygen. So the oxygen was expelled. This is how you humans are able to breathe oxygen, is because plants take the carbon dioxide and release the oxygen. They keep the carbon for themselves.
What's next?
So what happens from there on out is the carbon combines with hydrogen and oxygen molecules to make a sugar called glucose.
Why glucose?
When you break down glucose, you get energy. This is the second part. So another cool thing that happens in plants, and this one happens in animals too, is cellular respiration. This is when plant cells, animal cells, organism cells take glucose, and they need oxygen too most of the time, and break down that sugar for energy. So when my sugar was broken down, I was released into the atmosphere once again as carbon dioxide. So here's a little fun fact about you humans and other animals. You don't actually breathe straight oxygen. The air around you has carbon dioxide, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, a lot of elements that make up a small portion of it. But carbon dioxide actually makes up a lot of it. And so when an animal breathes, I often get inhaled with the oxygen that they are trying to get by inhaling. So, and then I am exhaled, whereas the oxygen itself is kept. So that process continues for a while. And then if I happen to be inside a plant or an animal for cellular respiration, when that animal or plant dies, I am returned to the ground when that animal is decomposed.
Did you become coal again then?
No, I don't become coal again. See, coal to form takes hundreds and hundreds of years. So, since I clearly am not coal right now, so to become coal again, I would have to be compacted with other molecules for another very long period of time, and I would not be standing here talking to you.
So why is everyone so scared of carbon? Well, not carbon exactly, but carbon dioxide?
So, here's something that maybe you humans could consider is that, trust me, I love myself, but I'm getting a lot of duplicates. So, what's happening is when you guys are burning fossil fuels and releasing all of this carbon dioxide, you're actually adding to something called the greenhouse effect, and that's what's making your planet warmer. Like right now, I am in long sleeves. It's hot because your planet is getting hot because there's too much carbon in the air thanks to you guys. Just saying. I mean, I like to be here, but some of those other carbon molecules, they're not super cool. So maybe we could think about getting rid of them. Anyways, does anybody have any questions?
So, I heard you talk about photosynthesis and cellular respiration. How are those two, related?
Yeah, so photosynthesis and cellular respiration are actually inverses, meaning that the outputs of one are the inputs of another. So carbon dioxide and carbon itself, carbon dioxide is an input of photosynthesis, but it's actually an output of cellular respiration, which means that the two coincide together.
Wait, so plants emit CO2 as well?
Yes, so plants do undergo cellular respiration. That's how they get energy from the sugars that they make. The reason that we assume that plants just give oxygen is because they actually put out more oxygen than they put out carbon dioxide. So even though they're putting out both, there's more oxygen that's being put out than there is carbon dioxide.
Has a yak ever inhaled you?
Have I ever been inside a yak? No, I don't think so. I haven't traveled to the Himalayas that much, I've mostly been in America. I've been to South America a couple times, just wind carrying me while I was in the atmosphere. I just was like, oh, okay, we're in South America now. That could be cool. All right, well, thank you all for listening today. I had fun. I hope you all learned something or fell asleep. Nice, Joe. Anyway, love you guys. Bye. Thank you so much for speaking with us today. We all enjoyed your presentation. I'm going to tell you about my life and my journey through the carbon cycle. I probably need a script. Didn't think of that. Poop. Carbon take 2. To become coal again, I would have to sit for another hundred of years. That was some English.
Why? Yahoo! I'm literally wearing pajamas right now. Because it's like 8 in the morning. I feel so weird just talking to my camera because literally no one is home. So, I'm sure the neighbors think I'm insane. Also, I'm aware that you can hear the fountain, and I apologize, but I don't know how to turn it off, and I'm really not in the mood for soaking myself today.